This is Slasher, and I'm here with Justin Wong of Evil Geniuses at IPL 5 in Las Vegas, day 3. And he is here for the IPL Capcom announcement that they are going to be partnering together for events in the future, including some show matches this weekend with Dominion, K-Brad, and his teammate, Puerto Rican Balrog. Also going on this weekend was NEC, but you're still here because it's Saturday and matches were yesterday. Did you decide to stay at IPL 5?
To be honest, it's like the grand finals for the Capcom 20th anniversary is next week. So I just want to take a break and just practice what I need to work on at home and make sure that I'm ready at 100%. Because I don't want to be exhausted when I go up to San Francisco. Because I plan to go on to the FGTV house on Monday, just practice with Ricky for the whole entire week. So me and Ricky have a really good chance of possibly winning the whole tournament.
All right, now I'm going to talk to you all about the Capcom 25th. But first, you're here for the announcement of IPL and Capcom coming together. Me and you have talked a long time about, this kind of being at a bigger scale for one of the kind of traditional esports events that aren't, the FGC events and majors that you're used to for that community. Now that it's happened, this time with IPL, what do you think about all of this? Is this a good move? Is this what you wanted?
Well, it's like finally, right? All these other fighting games had a chance, like Mortal Kombat, Tekken Tag. So it's like everyone wanted to finally see some Capcom games in the circuit. And, I'm really excited to see Capcom games in IPL just because, one, I really want to win an esports event. Just seeing like all those people winning like at the MOGs and stuff, and they're winning like these cool trophies. I want one too. So I'm really excited that IPL and Capcom decided to work together. And I do believe that, this is like a good thing for the community just because it's like, why not grow even better and bigger? So, because it's always the same year, majors after majors after majors, and it's really fun because you get to see some cool people. But now we get to experience some new stuff at an esports event, see how esports events run for Capcom games. And I think that's something that I would love to see.
If you could say what differences that you might want or you could see happening at the next IPL for fighting games as a difference to the normal majors, what would come to your mind?
I guess maybe less rowdiness. But, I don't really mind the rowdiness or not having it or having it. It's just something that the community always has. It's just because in fighting games, a lot of the people, they like to get very excited or, hype. But I think in IPL or even esports events in general, hype is still there. Because, when I was watching League of Legends and StarCraft, people go nuts when they see some crazy stuff. So I think it's still going to be there, but I think people are just afraid that it might not be there. It might be too professional, but I think it's still going to be an amazing event, and it's possibly going to have the same amount of volume in terms of excitement and great players coming.
Well, do you think that the same crowd that would show up to the local majors would just show up to IPL 6 and see that as the local for whatever city that they're in and still make it just as hype? Or do you think that just being in the same area as like other games and the different atmosphere would actually make the crowd like not be as crazy as you see at, Evo is the king of the majors?
Well, it depends, just because if IPL 6 is an open tournament, everyone will fly out. And if it's also in Vegas, everyone will also fly out just because it's Vegas. But if it's like an invitational or whatever, you'll probably have the local crowd that's from the scene just because it's local. But I would not expect people to fly out just to watch like an invitational tournament with like the players, because they could just watch at home on the stream. But if it's, like I said, if it's an open tournament, people will just come because they want a chance to play with the best, not watch the best.
Do you think that, well, first off, what do you think about that type of format as different to kind of every single major is pretty much open, and that is kind of deeply seated into the community that everyone can join, everyone can play, but that makes brackets into, large numbers, not even. What do you think the difference would be in like a 32, 64, or even smaller player bracket competitive-wise? Do you think that's a good idea?
I think it's a good idea if you love watching high-level play, because I love watching high-level matches. So I always want to see, like, let's say I would want to see Daigo versus Fudo, or Ricky versus Puerto Rican Balrog. I want to see those type of matches if it's just like one whole bracket, because it's like at least you won't have like some kind of like not so hype matches. Like if you have a list of like 20 good, amazing matches in a row, then people will love it. That's why everyone loves watching Top 8, because it's like the people that made Top 8 are the people that earn it, and they're probably the current best players in like the world. So if you have a big bracket just like that, I think it's amazing. Like how Capcom 25th anniversary had a qualifiers, and it's a 16-man bracket for AE 2012 and Cross Tekken. It's just those are the best players that deserve it to qualify to be at that tournament. So it's always going to be exciting matches throughout the whole entire like day.
What about you as a player?
As a player, I prefer just open tournaments just because I love playing against anyone. But you know, if I can play both. But I would prefer to play an open tournament because I would want to have more matches. Because the more matches you play, the more hot you are and the more comfortable you'll be playing. Because you know a lot of people might not be able to play good in their first round match. So if they're fighting like myself or Daigo first round, you know they might have like the jitters or like, oh, it's too early to play or I'm not warm up yet. But if you have a lot of matches, you get warmed up very easily.
Do you think it might provide a different level of play if there was more time to do more rounds, maybe best of 5 the entire way through, or maybe even best of 7 for group stages or bracket? Would that, since there's a smaller amount of players, would that increase the skill or less randomness at all?
The longer the set, I think for any competitive game, it's the better player will always come out on top. So if like let's say it's an invitational tournament and IPL 6 is like a 3 out of 5, 4 to 7. Then I would definitely prefer that than open tournament, just because I like to think about who am I playing with, and if he beats me the first 2 games, the first game, first 2 games, the first 3 games, I can be like, okay, I understand how you play now. Then boom, a comeback will come out and happen. I think any top player would say that the longer the set, the better they will do.
So it's going to be Street Fighter 4 AE, and it's going to be Cross Tekken. You pleased with the choices?
I am a big fan of Cross Tekken, and I also am a big fan of Street Fighter 4. But obviously, we're missing one game, and that's basically Marvel. So, I mean, IPL they did make an announcement saying we have Cross Tekken and Street Fighter 4 and possible games in the future. So, I feel like Marvel might be coming in the future. But right now, I'm pretty happy with the announcement of Street Fighter 4 and Cross Tekken.
So, let's say that they do their events, and who knows how many events IPL will have next year. Let's say it's a considerable amount. But then you have all the other majors that have Marvel. That'll split your attention 3 ways almost with so many tournaments. Will you play all 3, or would you think you would focus maybe on AE and Cross Tekken more with IPL 6 having those games for right now?
I definitely want to play all 3 just because those are going to be the 3 biggest games for next year. But I also want to play like Tekken, because I know Tekken has MLG. Because I promised everyone that once the grand finals finished for the 25th anniversary, that I want to pick up more games, just because I want to compete more games. I even want to play DOA 5 here in IPL 6. So it's definitely a lot of things for me to work on.
It's going to be Cross Tekken. They're demoing off kind of the 2013 version here, and then coming next year. Now that we've seen the game, it's going to have its conclusion next weekend. What do you think of it right now, and what do you think of the changes they made for 2013? Did they do a good job, and is the game kind of now at the pace where it should have been maybe on release?
Well, I was already a big fan of original Cross Tekken, but the 2013 changes are completely amazing. As I was playing it yesterday on the exhibition matches, I really just wanted to sit down and just play for hours and hours, because they changed everything. That it's basically like an upgrade, like a patch, a really amazing patch where rolls are punishable, chains are punishable. So basically, you literally have to play super, super, super solid, and because of that, it does minimize more randomness, which what I prefer, because I think any top player would love to prefer less random. And I think in general that the game is more towards Street Fighter 4 like. A lot more people will pick it up. And another good thing is that more characters are a lot more viable, because as you can see in the Capcom, at the current Cross Tekken, you only see Capcom characters. But in 2013, my opinion, you're going to see a lot more variety of Tekken characters being able to compete with the Capcom characters.
So do you think it's at the level of AE right now in terms of refined gameplay, or does it still have some work to go?
I think overall it's very close to AE, but the only thing that they are missing is a good use to Pandora mode. Everyone's scared Pandora mode might be too good, but because of that, everyone's scared. They made it really bad. So I really think Pandora mode is something that they might want to fix on the future. But as of right now, I think 2013 will make everyone play Cross Tekken 2013 again.
Well, and just next weekend, you'll be playing both Street Fighter AE and Cross Tekken in the Capcom finals. You played some show matches this weekend. I think you went 17-1 or 2. So you seem very ready for the finals. What are your expectations going in? There seem to be the best players in the world from all the different regions. EVO has a ton of players. These majors have a ton of players from every different region, but it seems very hard this one tournament in terms of just individual players. What are your expectations going in?
Well, my main goal was practicing Cross Tekken just because I really want to win the car. That car is really sick, and, I just want to drive it around. That's a pun, I know. But I want to drive around, and I think that I will win Cross Tekken because I've been putting a lot of time. I've been learning a lot of characters and getting ready for my opponents because I already know who qualifies, so I know what their teams are. So I've just been learning their teams to understand on how to fight them if I have to fight them in the tournament. And Street Fighter 4, I think, is going to be the hardest tournament for sure because I think everyone has got to a level where it's just everyone's so damn good. For example, you have Daigo in the tournament, you have Fudo, you have Chiquito, you have myself, PR Raw, you have Dominion. Everyone has beaten everyone before. Dominion beat Fudo before, but Dominion lost to Daigo. I beat Daigo beat me, so vice versa, Ricky. So it's definitely gonna be matches up in the air, and you can't even forget about Gamer B and Infiltration. There's just so many killers. So I think that's gonna be the tournament to watch for everybody because, like I said, it's the top 16 of the best players in the world at the moment.
Why do you think Cross Tekken is going to be your game? Do you think that maybe some players aren't there for Cross Tekken that are in AE, or do you think that you're just much more adept right now to that than AE comparative to the rest of the field?
Well, if you look at the top 16 for AE and the top 16 for Cross Tekken, you don't really see a Daigo or a Fudo, But you have some players like myself, Ricky, and Gamer B and Infiltration that's in both. But I think that the level of Cross Tekken is not as high as AE just because people were not giving it a chance, obviously. And AE was the game to play throughout the entire year globally. So that's why I think that Cross Tekken would definitely be an easier tournament to win than AE. So, but it's also that I actually put a lot of time and dedication because I'm one of the few that actually likes the game compared to the other top players that's I'm going to just stick with AE or something.
So AE, while Cross Tekken is a game that you want to play and want to win, AE seems to have the bigger storyline here. It's kind of like a culmination of a few years now of AE being out, and this maybe even being the biggest tournament yet. I mean, not in terms of size or importance, but just especially the end of the 25th anniversary to celebrate, the game's, history, such a rich history. Do you have any? Do you feel any pressure at all for AE to maybe try to win it all? And do you feel any rivalries with anybody in the field?
Well, I'm obviously going to try hard for AE because I've been practicing that also. But like I said, it's going to be a really hard tournament to win because all the best players are there. And, there's players that's basically has beaten me before, but I have beaten them. So because of that, that doesn't mean I can guarantee myself a win. Like Daigo has a better record than me, but I beat him as CEO recently. And me and Dominion has been going back and forth. Me and Ricky has been going back and forth. Me and Wolfcrow has been going back and forth. So it's just one of those tournaments that the better player will win. And I am banking on that my tournament experience will lead me to the finals because I don't really get nervous as much. But I could see them getting nervous as they are new players still in terms of just getting to that high pedestal level. They got top 8 at EVO, but it's once they got top 8 at EVO, they kind of just bombed. If you look at it, they just lost right away in the losers bracket. So it might be that situation where they get to play on the stage on the top 16 with everyone watching, and they have $25,000 on the line, and they just might lose because they don't have the experience and that pressure. So even though everyone's almost at the same level, nerves are also part of it, which makes you either play better or play worse.
What do you think about the field overall? We've always seen kind of Japan and USA go back and forth over Street Fighter's history, but now we see nearly all regions and nations become true, legitimate contenders. Especially we decided Infiltration, the Korean one at Evo. Do you think the field is more spread out than ever now?
It definitely is spread out. It's kind of, if you look at it, at the people that are winning in the countries, it's kind of like the actual Street Fighter video game, where like you have like these players from like China, India, Japan, USA, and they're all just representing. They're all like contenders in equal level that they go win the tournament. So that's why like I think I love watching AE and playing AE, because it's not just USA versus Japan. It's everyone versus everyone around the world, and that's what makes the game more exciting. And the fact that Capcom had all these qualifiers at Brazil, Europe, Taiwan, Korea, America, Japan, and many different players are traveling, even if they're not from the same region, right? You know, you have like currently the UK qualifiers going on right now, and you have Momochi and Mago at the UK, and you even have Chi Ritti at the UK right now. He wants to qualify. So I think because of that, you know, everyone is just so good now, and everyone really wants it, because who doesn't want to be the best in Street Fighter?
And lastly, I want to know, what are you going to do to make sure that you're champion come next weekend at the Capcom 25th Anniversary Finals?
Well, I've been practicing a lot harder than usual. And like I said, right after this weekend, I'm going to go to the FGT house and practice. And I've been watching a lot of videos, studying a lot, researching on players' flaws. So I'm going to have like a whole guidebook of how to beat this player. So I know they're going to come prepared as well, but like I said, whoever has the better notes and better research will probably win.
So you told me before also, along with the bracket, you'd rather meet Daigo in the very first round than later on. Why do you think that, you know, you'd rather play him early on?
If you look at like track record, I feel like Daigo does the worst when he plays first round, but I play really good no matter which round, just because like, you know, it's just I'm an arcade player, so I come and go. And like at CEO, I played him first round in top 32, and I beat him. And if Infiltration beat him first round in top 8, you know, on Sunday, so he hasn't played any games, and he lost too. So I think because of that track record and off a past track record, that I think it's very easy to beat Daigo first round, because I think he needs to be in the zone to just start reading those amazing Umi reads and everything.
Thank you for the interview, and good luck next weekend at the 25th Finals.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stay tuned to GameSpot.com/esports for coverage all weekend long of IPL 5 in Las Vegas. And don't forget to watch next weekend at the Capcom 25th Anniversary Finals. We will be there to cover it all.